Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Today we are here to discuss the current events on 8th December 2017. Let's start with the national issues of the day. The first one regarding the inclusion of Kumbh Mela in the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage. UPSC in the past has asked various questions on UNESCO as well as the list of intangible cultural heritage. In fact, last year in prelims, there was a question on Sankirtana dance and in mains as well on one of the organs of UNESCO. With that, let's just see what this list is all about. The UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage helps demonstrate the diversity of cultural heritage as well as raise awareness about the importance of their conservation and protection. There are numerous entries from India in this list like Kudiyattam, Mudiyattu, recently Yoga and now Kumbh Mela. UPSC in this year prelims examination had asked about Sankirtana, which is a ritual dance of Manipur. So try to go through the list and remember the salient features of different items in the list. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news today, which is regarding the expulsion of two senior legislators from the Rajya Sabha. The Hindu today has an article as well as an editorial on the same issue, which we'll be covering in the news analysis. JDU leader Sharad Yadav has recently said he will contest his disqualification in the court. He has cited that former Rajya Sabha member, that is Vijay Mallya, was given a chance to defend himself from expulsion as his matter was referred to the Ethics Committee of the Parliament. However, in the case of Mr. Sharad Yadav and Mr. Anwar, who were disqualified recently, have not been given a similar opportunity to defend themselves. He has further said that neither his nor Mr. Anwar's activity in any way threatened the stability of any government, nor did they disobey any whip issued by the party. And the Hindu editorial today also argues that the quick pace at which this decision was taken was unwarranted for, and both the legislators could have been given an opportunity to defend their actions in the House. With that in mind, let's just see the provisions of the 10th schedule which deal with the disqualification of a member of a House. The 10th schedule of the Constitution, which deals with the provisions of disqualification, contains that a member of a House is disqualified when he voluntarily gives up the membership of his or her political party, votes in contrary to the directions issued by the political party, that is the whip of the political party, if an independent candidate joins a political party after being elected to the House, or if a nominated member joins a political party 6 months after being elected to the House. In this case, Mr. Sharad Yadav is contesting that he never gave up the membership of his political party, nor did he do any actions in contrary to the directions given by his political party. The provisions of the 10th schedule have helped in curbing opportunism among legislators and floor crossing of the legislators for personal motives. However, there have been instances of misuse like what happened recently in Tamil Nadu. Hence, going forward, the anti-defection law should be used for what it was originally brought in for, and to uphold the mandate of the people given to the political party rather than a tool to stifle dissent, thereby differentiating between dissent and defection. UPSC in the past has asked questions on various schedules, and in the mains as well, it has previously asked a question on the anti-defection law. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news, which is regarding the views of the Supreme Court on the fundamental rights of a woman, and in this particular case about the rights of a Parsi woman who was barred by her community for offering prayers to her dead parents in the Tower of Silence. And the reason given for such denial was that she married outside her religion to a Hindu under the Special Marriage Act. The Supreme Court in this regard has opined that woman is not a property, or she does not mortgage herself to a man after marriage, but she retains her identity, including her religious identity, that is, her freedom to follow any religious faith, which may be different from her husband's religion. In this regard, the Supreme Court viewed that the 1954 Special Marriage Act confers on the women the right to choose her religious beliefs, which is in line with the fundamental rights guaranteed under the Constitution to profess, practice, and propagate his or her religious beliefs. We should see this in line with the recent Supreme Court ruling, which declared instant triple talaq as unconstitutional. I have dealt in detail what are the problems associated with triple talaq and on the draft law proposed by the Union government, and I request those who have not gone through to watch the same. Coming back to the issue at hand, the Supreme Court, in essence, has disagreed with the widespread notion that a woman's religious identity is subject to her husband's religion after the marriage, and has reasserted that there can't be a distinction between a man and a woman simply because of biological differentiations. The issue is important because we have seen various women related issues in conflict with the religious beliefs and customs, be it the Shani Singapore case or the Sabrimala case, or for the women right to representation in the urban local bodies in Nagaland. Added to all this, the ongoing debate on Uniform Civil Code makes it very important from the point of view of examination. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news today, which is regarding the petitions filed in Supreme Court seeking clarification whether toddy falls under the definition of liquor. As we all know, the Supreme Court had imposed a nationwide ban on the sale of alcohol within 500 meters of national and state highways. Hence, just go back and revise the debate on the order of the Supreme Court restricting the freedom of choice of an individual. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news, which is regarding the role of collegiums. The issue is in news because the Supreme Court has recently ruled that the primacy of judiciary is paramount so far as assessing the performance or merit of a candidate who is to be considered for a judicial appointment in the high courts, even though the Chief Minister or Governor of the state disagrees. This was in reply to the Karnataka Chief Minister's objection to the list of the recommended candidates by the state high court, as various bodies of advocates contested that the names recommended for appointment did not represent all the sections of the society. In that regard, let's just see what is the collegium system all about. The collegium system is not an executive or a statutory body, but has evolved over time with various judgments of the Supreme Court, starting from the first judge's case till the recent scrapping of the National Judicial Appointments Commission Act. The function of the collegium is to recommend names for appointment and transfer of judges. The collegium in case of the Supreme Court consists of the Chief Justice of India and 4 other senior most judges of the court, while in case of a High Court collegium, it is led by the Chief Justice of the concerned state High Court and 4 other senior most judges of that High Court. The issue is important because of the scrapping of the NJAC bill as well as raising allegations of corruption in the judiciary. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news, which is regarding the Right to Information Act, which we all know is a legislation which empowers citizens to demand information from any public authority within a stipulated time and a reasonable fee. The issue is in news because the Delhi High Court has set aside the Central Information Commission order, which declared that ministers were public authorities and were answerable to the public under the Right to Information Act. The Right to Information Act was a significant milestone in enhancing transparency and accountability in governance, and UPSC has time and again asked questions in various GS papers on the legislation. This year too, there was a case study on the Right to Information Act in GS paper 4, that is ethics. Therefore, please look into the salient provisions of the Act and its shortcomings. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news today, which is regarding the fears surrounding the bail-in clause under the proposed Financial Resolution and Deposit Insurance Bill and the clarification issued by the government to allay these fears. I have covered the issue in depth in my previous videos and I request you to go through the same. With that, let's move on to the other issues in news today. The first one being the ongoing tussle between Nissan and the Tamil Nadu government on the pending VAT refunds which were guaranteed to Nissan. I have covered the various facets of the issue in depth in my previous video and I request you to go through the same. The final issue is regarding the recent controversial statements made by the US President on recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. And due to the remarks of the US President, violence has erupted in the region and there is a genuine concern over the issue going out of control. I have covered the intricacies of the issues in detail in yesterday's current affairs analysis, and those who have not seen the video, kindly go and watch the same. With that, I am wrapping up today's current news analysis. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.